Congratulations on the win. How are you feeling?
Feel amazing, man. Like dream come true. Since the beginning of starting a fight, this is the goal, and now I'm in the show, and that's what it's about.
And I know during the show you made your message clear to all the people watching that maybe felt they weren't enough or just things were going their way, quite frankly. So I guess how does it feel now knowing you're on the other side with the TUF trophy in your hand?
Absolutely. I mean, it's a TV show, so they cut and paste a bunch of stuff, and there's a part that a lot of people did reach out to me saying there's a part I said that I wasn't smart enough, and I definitely felt that way when I was younger, and it was tough growing up, but I had so many great people around me that boosted me up and showed me like, hey, maybe you do struggle in English and writing and grammar, but you're so much smarter in everything else, and the harder I work at things, the better you get at them. So I think as a young age, I always had to work a lot harder than a lot of people, especially in school, and I just carried that through sports, and sports really saved my life in a lot of ways where, yeah, school was tough, but I really excelled in sports, so I can understand a lot more in that. So it helped me. One, I had a lot of great people. Two, that struggles in the beginning made me better now.
For sure. Not only that, I mean, one of the most international cast on the show ever. So I guess how does it feel to come out representing the U.S.? I mean, with all these countries that were in the house.
Absolutely. I mean, United States, that's where it's at. I come from Team Alpha Male, and on a given day, there's 30 different countries represented on our mat. So being around a lot of international fighters, it was cool. I mean, fighting is an international language, and I feel like we all bonded in that sense. But representing the United States, I feel it's the best country in the world, and I love it. So
I know your opponent, Robert Valentin. He had a lot of hype going into this one. A lot of people were fans of him from the show. So, do you feel like as if you kind of played party pooper today, or how did you feel? I mean, I'm sure you saw all the stuff on social media of his kind of aura going into it and all that.
Yeah, I mean, since day one, that's not how I play it. I mean, I feel like the ego kind of takes you away from that, and being the loud mouth and the talker, that's not my style. I like to. My dad told me as a young age, be quiet and carry a big stick. So, being that type of mentality and being the quiet one and not boasting about things and trying to show off, that's not my style. So I feel like that's more of a chink in the armor when I start seeing that. It's like they're trying to prove to themselves that they are big, they are bad, when I know I'm big and bad. So
now that we're here, obviously with you with the trophy, what would you say is the biggest lesson you can take from the experience in the house? I know it's a very tough one.
I think just take it one step at a time. The emotions will come and go. Sometimes there's a lot of doubt, especially when I was isolated from all my friends and family and my support group. There was a lot of doubt that came in my head, so I had to really dig deep into myself and stay present. I stayed present through breath work and meditation and journaling and all the other stuff that kind of they don't really show a lot in mental health. It's coming back to that. So it's staying present, and I think believing in myself, that was one thing that me and my mental health coach, we talked about a lot, was when those doubts start coming in, I wrote in my journal, I believe in myself. So keep coming having that mentality as I go.
That's awesome. And last one for me, UFC fighter. So who would you like, if it was up to you, or would you like to debut, and who would you like to face?
I take this from my boy Fluffy. It doesn't matter who I face. It's going to be the same result no matter what. So anyone they throw at me, I'll be ready.
How do you think your life will change after today?
Not much, to be honest. It's right back to the grind. I have an amazing team. I have an amazing support group, and this is the start. This is not like, oh, I made it. This is like, okay, now your foot's in the door. So now I have to go prove myself. My record goes back to 0, and it starts all over. So I go right back to work.
Dana wasn't here tonight to give you guys your trophies. I'm just wondering, was there any disappointment in that? Just seeing as, he's the figurehead.
I met Dana a couple times, and, he's a busy guy. I hope he puts a belt around my waist someday. So that's where I hope he's there for me.
Ryan.
Yeah.
So I know that you like to go just one fight at a time, but considering that you're a little bit more experienced than other fighters, like let's say Myron, who also won tonight, What kind of timeline do you see for your UFC career before you do get into those ranked opponents?
Whatever you guys throw at me, to be honest. I mean, I feel young. I mean, I don't really take punches. This is I think, 10th fight, and I think I've only taken about like 4 or 5 punches. So my body's young. I stay up with my stretching. I stay up with my mobility. I work a lot of recovery stuff. So I feel like maybe I am a little bit older for coming into the UFC, but I'm in my prime right now, and I plan on staying there.
And how difficult was it to kind of keep this news from not getting out too much that you were in the finals while you were preparing for the fight?
It was tough. Yeah, I mean, just my little circle that we were working on, all my friends and family were always bugging me, telling me, hey, what's going on? What's going on? I was like, oh, we got to watch the show. We got to watch the show. So now they finally watch the show and they can see me. And I looked at my phone. It is blowing up right now. So it'll be fun to sit back and kind of answer all these questions coming from all the fans.
Thank you.
Congrats on the win. Awesome performance. It got rough in there. It was like a good dogfight. You know, there's some crazy scrambles, submission attempts. How close were some of those to where you're like, man, I think I just journaled about this. I got to get through this storm.
So when I put him in the scarf hold, I heard his arm snap. It went pop, 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 pop. So I thought he was going to be done after that. And he was really tough. We knew he was going to be tough. And he kept fighting through it. So when he was putting on the submissions, they weren't strong submissions because I think he only had one arm. Wow. So when I was underneath, I heard my coaches, fight the hands. But to be honest, they weren't tight on my neck. So I'm like, okay, just breathe. You're fine. You're going to get through this. Just keep working here. His legs are going to get tired. And then sure enough, I got on top. And I think the judges gave me that first round because I got on top and landed some elbows. And after that, I saw my coach was like, hey, he's done now. Go get him. And I saw him kind of shake out his arm, like, uh-oh. And that was his right arm. I'm like, perfect. So I came right after him and took him down real fast and got where I know I'm going to be dominant.
For sure. And, you know, you beat me to punch on the next question. You see fighters sometimes not mean to. It's just that body language that they'll do, like the little bounce, and you're like, oh, someone's tired, or shake out something. And I was wondering, like, man, did they pick up on that? So clearly you knew if I didn't hear those pops, and I didn't just see you shake it out, I got you, right? I just got to stay alive, and I'm gonna put you away in this one.
Mm-hmm. I mean, my coaches saw it too. So I have great corners that tell me everything I need to know. They're the eyes and ears that I don't have. So they said, go after them. And that's exactly what I did.
That's awesome, man. How surreal is it if you could put it into words and perspective, and just once it's really just all dialed in, this awesome triumph for you that a guy who has been in the Ultimate Fighter, has had his hand raised, was able to go in the same weight class and get that belt, and you were just talking to Michael Bisping. That's right?
Well, actually, I mean, I coach Michael Bisping's son, you know. So it's a cool thing. I recruited him at San Francisco State.
Circle.
Yeah, full circle. So and then I've been constantly talking to him every time one of my teammates and have a fight. So I'm always in their corner talking to Bisping, like, hey, check out their wrestling, because I'm the wrestling corner, and he knows that I was Callum's wrestling coach. So now I get to step on stage and show what I got.
That's awesome, man. That is so cool. Thank you for sharing that. Give me your overall assessment of the division. We have a new king. Drake has, defended his belt. A couple up-and-comers. I mean, tonight's main event is in your weight class. Give me just like an opinion analysis. What are you thinking about it?
I think they're all tough, man. They should be here, and they're all tough. I think there is a lack of wrestlers, so I think that's where something that I see, and I'm like, okay, maybe that's my avenue, and I can stay in the middleweights and take over with my wrestling. So I think a lot of people are going to have to make up for a lot of lost time on. There's not a lot of D1 wrestlers coming through.
So you'll bring back that whole Matt Hughes, George St. Pierre-esque approach to, like, man, I'm gonna put you on this mat and I'm gonna keep you there.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna build on my striking. I have amazing striking coaches. I have pretty much everyone I work with is world champions or have coached world champions. So I'm in the best team in the world, and my striking is just gonna get better. And then my wrestling, I have a group of guys from Sacramento. They're from 4 different gyms that we all get together. We call ourselves the Grappling Boys, led by Elliot Kelly, and we're getting it. We're just growing. Every month is a different fight. So it's exciting to be a part of, and I'm excited to see where this group goes.
That's awesome, man. Well, I just seeing it in your face, you're just beaming with pride and that honor to continue traditions and just to bring it back and just put respect on your camp and everybody that's worked to get you here and just pay them back. That's fantastic. You're in Vegas, you know, there's all kind of stuff going on. How do you celebrate this big win?
Well, I got my whole family flew out here, my extended family and everybody. They got hotels and everything. So I don't know what the plan is. I'm gonna probably see Slava. He got a good win this tonight, and just hang out with my family and friends. You know, I don't go out, don't party. So I think being with my family and friends is something amazing that we all get to celebrate together.
That's awesome, man. Well, congrats on that big win and welcome to the UFC.
Thank you.